All right, so you want to be a casino pit boss, huh? You've come to the right place. We're diving deep into those roll catcher guides you brought along to see what it really takes to run the show on the casino floor. And hey, to help us navigate this whole world, we've got an expert in the house.
Well, let me tell you, there's a lot more to it than just knowing the games.
That's what's so interesting about these guys. I went in thinking, okay, it's got to be all about blackjack and roulette. But when I started digging into the core skills roll catcher highlights,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, this is about way more than just cards.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there.
They're talking about coordination, monitoring, critical thinking, even management of personnel resources. It's like you're basically running a mini empire over there in your pit.
It's funny you should say that. It really is like leading a team, creating a strategy under, let's be honest, a whole lot of pressure.
Right. It's like the stakes are always high, both literally and figuratively. And speaking of high stakes, RoleCatcher does a good job of laying out, like, the career path, the steps you got to take to climb that ladder.
Yeah. And those starting steps are crucial.
Totally. So you're telling me starting as a dealer is where it's at?
100%. Because you're on the front lines there. You're handling the games. You're dealing with, any disputes that might pop up.
Right, making sure no one's trying to pull a fast one.
Exactly. You're learning the flow of the casino. You're learning how to handle all kinds of people.
You got to know how to play the game before you can run the game.
There you go.
So, like, you start as a dealer, then work your way up to supervisor, then shift manager, and finally the big leagues, pit boss.
And each step comes with, what? More responsibility. More to manage, higher stakes, but also the potential rewards get bigger too.
Right, got to risk it to get the biscuit, as
Yeah.
they say. But let's be real, like any job, this one's going to have its ups and downs.
Mm.
One thing I appreciate about RoleCatcher is they don't sugarcoat it. They give you both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got the potential for high earnings, the fast-paced environment, the excitement of, I don't know, every day being different,
There's a certain energy, that's for sure. You never know who's going to walk in those doors.
right? You could have high rollers, tourists, celebrities, you name it.
Keeps you on your toes, that's for sure.
But then, on the flip side, you've got those long hours, irregular schedules, and let's be real, sometimes you're dealing with,
Let's just say not everyone's there to have a good time.
right, and those situations can get a little hairy, I imagine. Yeah, dealing with those high-pressure situations, that takes a certain kind of personality.
Yeah.
But hey, it's not all just gut feeling and intuition, right?
Yeah.
One thing that surprised me in these roll catcher guides was how much they talked about technology. I mean, you don't normally think casino and immediately jump to high tech, but
Things have changed, that's for sure.
it's not your grandma's slot machines anymore, right?
Not even close. We're talking VR, AR, blockchain. It's wild.
Yeah, RoleCatcher really dives into that, like the whole evolution of the casino floor. It's kind of mind-blowing, actually. Like virtual reality poker tournaments. Players beaming in from all over the place. That's got to bring a whole new set of challenges for a pit boss.
Oh, absolutely. You need someone who's not just comfortable with the traditional casino stuff, but who can also, adapt to all this new tech. Imagine overseeing a VR craps table or managing a team that's spread out between like the physical casino floor and some virtual space.
Whoa. That's like next level stuff right there. It's like the casino's got to keep up with the times just like any other business. So, okay, let's say you've got the skills, the personality, the tech savviness. You're ready to go all in on this whole casino pit boss thing. RoleCatcher doesn't leave you hanging when it comes to the job hunt either.
Right. They've got that whole section on interview questions.
Yeah, and these aren't your typical run-of-the-mill questions either. These are designed to really make you think on your feet.
They want to see how you handle those pressure situations, how you
Yeah.
think strategically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at some of these questions and I'm like, whoa, okay. Like, how do you handle conflicts between customers or even between customers and employees? I mean, talk about a high-pressure situation.
You got to be able to think clearly, make a judgment call, and, make sure everyone feels like they're being heard.
And you got to do it all while keeping the casino running smoothly and profitably. Which, speaking of, RoleCatcher kept mentioning this idea of influencing spends and income per head. What's that all about?
That's the name of the game in the casino world. It's all about, creating an environment where people feel comfortable spending money.
Right, because at the end of the day, it is a business.
Exactly.
But it makes you wonder about the strategies involved. Like, how do you encourage people to spend without, being too pushy? Is it all about comps and free drinks, or is there more to it?
Yeah. Is it like subtle things about the atmosphere or maybe how you interact with people?
It's a whole art, really. You got to understand the psychology of it all. Right, like what makes people want to stay at that table, or maybe even, up their bets a little bit.
Exactly. And it's the pit boss's job to kind of like orchestrate all of that.
Which I guess takes us back to those leadership skills.
100%. You got to read people, understand what motivates them,
And make those judgment calls, like when to offer a comp, when to maybe suggest a different game.
and when to, maybe step in if you sense someone's getting in over their head.
Right, got to keep it fun and responsible.
Mm.
Which is something RoleCatcher really emphasizes too. Like, there's an ethical side to all of this as well.
Absolutely. You're not just there to make money for the casino, you're also there to make sure everyone's having a good time safely.
So it's like finding that balance.
Finding that balance, exactly. It's a tough job, no doubt about it, but it can be incredibly rewarding too.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, I got to say, you've given us a lot to think about.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating field.
It really is. And who knows, maybe some of our listeners will be running their own casino pits someday. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.